this lecture, we are going to do some of the special cases in the article of electric field due to a moving charge. So the electric field due to a moving charge, a charge which is moving with velocity v, as seen in the S frame, the formula that we derived of the electric field came out to be equal to Q times 1 minus beta square, where beta is equal to V divided by C. So V is the velocity of the charge Q in the S frame. With respect to S frame, the velocity of the charge is V times x minus V into T I cap plus yj cap plus zk cap divide by 4 pi epsilon naught times x minus vt whole square plus y square plus z square times 1 minus beta square whole power 3 by 2. So this was the formula that we derived in the previous lecture. And over here this xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, this is the position vector. This can be represented by r vector, and this is the position vector of the observation point in the S frame. So we had taken x prime I cap plus y prime j cap plus z prime k cap. So this was the position vector of the observation point P in the S prime frame. So we represented it by r prime vector. And if we take the position vector of the same observation point in the S frame, that will be xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So this is the electric field formula for a moving charge. Now in this case, let's suppose when the velocity of the charge tends to 0. When the velocity of the charge tends to 0 means the charge is at rest in S frame. So the charge is moving in this formula, the formula that we derived. In this article, we have taken that charge was moving with velocity v in the S frame. So here if velocity tends to 0 means charge is at rest in the S frame. Therefore beta, which is nothing but v divided by c, so beta will also tend to 0. So the formula that we have got of a moving charge, the electric field due to a moving charge, this formula will reduce to q times 1 minus beta square. So beta will tend to 0 when we are taking v tends to 0. So beta will tends to 0, so here we will have 1 minus 0, and that will be just 1 times x minus v into t. So v tends to 0, as we have taken v tends to 0. So we will have xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So we will just have xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap divide by 4 pi epsilon naught as it is, and here you have x minus vt. So v tends to 0, so here you will just have x square. So x square plus y square plus z square times you have 1 minus beta square, and beta tends to 0. So this will be just y square plus z square and whole power 3 by 2. So as I have taken this r vector as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, so this is the position vector of the observation point P in the S frame. So its magnitude will be equal to x square plus y square plus z square power 1 by 2. So magnitude of this r vector will be nothing but under root of x square plus y square plus z square. So here I have xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So this is nothing but r vector. So this will be equal to q times r vector divide by 4 pi epsilon naught as it is, and you have x square plus y square plus z square power 3 by 2. So here you have x square plus y square plus z square power 1 by 2 is there, and whole power 3. So that will give you 3 by 2. So here x square plus y square plus z square power 1 by 2 is nothing but magnitude of this r vector. So this will be magnitude of the r vector that can be represented by just r, and its cube. So that will be just r cube. So here we have substituted the magnitude of r as under root of x square plus y square plus z square. So you will be just left with r cube. Now this formula of the electric field, this is the same formula that we use when the charge is at rest. So when velocity tends to 0, this formula of the electric field of a moving charge, it reduces to this formula. And this is the same as electric field due to charge at rest. So we have seen in this special case when V tends to 0, this formula, it approaches to the same Coulomb's law that we use in the case of static charges. The next special case that we are considering is we are going to find out the electric field of a charge when the frame S prime and S, they coincide, means their origins coincide. So O and O prime of the two frames S and S prime respectively, they coincide. And we have supposed that O and O prime coincide with each other at t is equal to 0. So time starts when both the origins, they coincide. So as we have taken the S frame as this one, and S prime frame was moving with a certain velocity. So this was the origin of first frame S, and this is the origin of the frame S prime. So when they both were coinciding with each other, the origins of the two frames were coinciding with each other. At that time we take t is equal to 0, and as O prime moves in the plus x-axis direction, the time increases. So when the origins of the two frames, they are coinciding, then we take time t is equal to 0. And after that, this S prime frame, it keeps on moving in the plus x-axis direction, and in that case t will be greater than 0. So when O and O prime are coinciding, at that case we take time t is equal to 0. So now we want to find the expression of the electric field when the origins of the two frames are exactly coinciding with each other, means time should be put equal to 0. So in this expression we are going to put t is equal to 0. So what will be the expression of the electric field? So the expression of electric field will be q times 1 minus beta square as it is, and here we have x minus vt. So t must be put equal to 0 when we are considering the case O and O prime are coinciding. So when this is the case, t must be put equal to 0. So you will be having xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, and that is nothing but r vector. So that will be just r vector whole divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. And you have, so here instead of writing r vector, so I am writing the actual form of r vector, that is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Divide by x square plus y square plus x square plus y square plus z square times 1 minus beta square whole power 3 by 2. So this is the expression of electric field we have got when O and O prime are coinciding with each other, means the charge q is present at O. So O and O prime are coinciding at t is equal to 0. So charge q is present at O point. But now we are going to actually see what is the behavior of the electric field, how the electric field lines look like. So how the electric field lines actually look like when the charge is moving. So we already know when the charge is at rest, when this positive charge is at rest, we know the electric field lines, they are spherically symmetric. They are spherically symmetric means if you take any point, if you take let's say if you take few points which are at the same distance from the charge, at all these points the magnitude of the electric field will be the same. So this is what we mean by spherical symmetry. So when the charge is at rest, when its velocity is 0, the electric field is spherically symmetric. But we want to find how the electric field lines look like when the charge is moving. What is the behavior of the electric field when the charge moves? So this is the electric field equation we have got at time t is equal to 0, when O and O prime are just coinciding with each other. At that particular point, electric field is given by this expression. But now to study the behavior of the electric field lines, means how the electric field lines look like, we will take the simple form of xy plane. So we are just going to study the electric field in xy plane. So for simplicity we are going to put z is equal to 0. So we are going to study the electric field lines. We are going to draw the electric field lines in a 2 dimension, means on a piece of paper. So for that we have to put z is equal to 0. So in this particular equation we are going to put z is equal to 0. So that will give us the electric field just in the xy plane. So that will be more simple for us to imagine. So z is going to be put equal to 0. The electric field will be nothing but q times 1 minus beta square, then xi cap plus yj cap, xi cap plus yj cap, and zk cap will be equal to 0 because we are studying just the xy plane. Divide by 4 pi epsilon naught, and then here you will have x square plus y square times 1 minus beta square. So z will be put equal to 0 whole power 3 by 2. So this is the electric field in the xy plane. So z has been put equal to 0. So now we are going to study the electric field in the xy plane. So this xi cap plus yj cap, xi cap plus yj cap, this is nothing but the position vector of this observation point. So I have taken the observation point in the xy plane. So this is the charge, positive charge, and this is the xy plane, and this is the observation point. So this point is present in the xy plane. So its position vector, and as we have said that t is equal to 0. So these all formulas, this formula and this formula which we have written, this is for t is equal to 0, means q is present at O. O and O prime are coinciding, so this charge is present at O. So this charge is present at O. So what will be the position vector of the observation point? That will be nothing but xi cap plus yj cap, because the observation point now is present only in the xy plane. So r vector will be xi cap plus yj cap, and magnitude of the position vector will be under root of x square plus y square. So now we are going to substitute over here xi cap plus yj cap as r vector. So this will be just r vector, and we are going to open this bracket. This bracket will be opened, so you will have y square times 1 minus beta square is present, so you will have y square minus of y square beta square. So we are opening this round bracket. So in this expression you will have q times 1 minus beta square times r vector divide by 4 pi epsilon naught times, here you will have x square as it is plus y square minus of y square beta square. So x square plus y square that you will have, you can club that as r square. So this is the magnitude of the position vector, r vector. So this is the magnitude. So r square will be nothing but x square plus y square. So the x square plus y square that you will get over here in this denominator, so that you can put it equal to r square and minus of y square beta square as it is, power 3 by 2. So this is the expression of the electric field we have got in the xy plane at t is equal to 0. So this is the electric field expression we have got. Now this is the xy plane and positive charge is present at the origin of the S frame, and this is the observation point, and its position vector is given as r vector, which is equal to xi cap plus yj cap. And let's consider this angle, the angle which is made by the position vector of the observation point with the x-axis is theta. So theta is the angle between r vector and the x-axis. So in this case, what will be x? So if you draw a projection on the x and y axis, so this distance will be equal to r cos theta. So x will be equal to r cos theta and y will be equal to r sin theta. So now we are going to substitute it over here. So instead of y, we are going to substitute r sin theta. So what you will have, electric field E will be equal to q times 1 minus beta square times r vector divided by 4 pi epsilon naught times r square as it is, minus you will have r square sin square theta because you have y square over here. So you will have r square sin square theta times beta square as it is power 3 by 2. So here you can take r square common. So here you can take r square common from this denominator. So when you will take r square common, so already the power of this bracket is 3 by 2. So when you will take r square common, so what you will have outside the bracket, it will be r square power 3 by 2. So that will be nothing but r cube. So electric field equation will be q times 1 minus beta square r vector divide by 4 pi epsilon naught, and we have taken r square common, and outside the square bracket it will become r cube because of this power 3 by 2 times 1 minus sin square theta beta square sin square theta power 3 by 2. So this is the expression of the electric field in xy plane at t is equal to 0. And now we are going to find out the electric field at a point on the x-axis. So let's consider the observation point P is present on the x-axis at a distance a. So let's say this observation point is present on the x-axis at a distance of a. So theta will be equal to 0 in that case because the point is present on the x-axis. So this theta will be equal to 0. And r vector is nothing but position vector of the observation point. So the observation point is present on the x-axis. So r vector will be equal to ai cap. So we have taken the point P to be present on the x-axis at a distance of a. So what will be r vector? It will be ai cap. So what will be the electric field in that case? Now the electric field in this case, let's represent it by E parallel. And why I have taken it as E parallel? Because the S prime frame is moving with velocity v along the x-axis, or you can say the charge q is moving with velocity v along the plus x-axis, and I am finding the electric field due to this moving charge on the x-axis itself. So the electric field I am representing as E parallel. So this electric field which I am going to write over here, this electric field is the electric field at a point on the x-axis. The charge is moving along the x-axis and the observation point is also present along the x-axis. So therefore I have written the electric field as E parallel on the x-axis. So this will be equal to, so what will be the electric field? So this is the general formula of the electric field at any point in the xy plane. But in this particular case, I am taking the x-axis, the point, observation point is present on the x-axis. So what is the electric field along the x-axis? So in that case, this theta will be equal to 0. Theta will be equal to 0 and r vector must be substituted as ai cap. So the electric field will be q times 1 minus beta square as it is. Instead of r vector, we are writing it as a I cap. Divide by 4 pi epsilon naught as it is, and instead of r cube, so r is nothing but the magnitude of r vector. R is nothing but magnitude of r vector, and over here r vector is equal to a I cap and its magnitude is nothing but a. So a is the magnitude of this position vector. So what will be r cube? It will be nothing but a cube times 1 minus beta square sine square theta, and over here theta is equal to 0. So this second term will be equal to 0. So 1 minus 0 power 3 by 2, so that will be just equal to 1. So the electric field on the x-axis will be given as, so a will cancel with a in the denominator, so you will be just left with a square in the denominator. So 4 pi epsilon naught divide by a square. So now we are going to find out the electric field at a point on the y-axis. So this expression we have found of the electric field on the x-axis, the charge is moving along the x-axis, and this is the expression of the electric field along the x-axis at a point A, at a point which is at a distance of a from the charge. And now we are going to find the electric field expression on the y-axis at the same distance from the charge q. So earlier we have found the electric field on the x-axis at a distance of a, and now we are going to find the electric field on the y-axis but at the same distance a. So the point we are going to take, the observation point we are going to take on the y-axis will be at a distance of a from the charge. So here we just want to see if the electric field is spherically symmetric or not in the case of moving charge. In the case of stationary charge, we know that the electric field is spherically symmetric. So as we have seen that all the points which are at the same distance from the charge will have the same electric field. At all the points which are at the same distance from the charge will experience the same electric field. So that is what we mean by spherically symmetric electric field. But here in the case of moving charge, we want to see that if the electric field is symmetric or not. First, we have taken the electric field at a distance of a on the x-axis. Now we are going to find the electric field at a distance a, the same distance a on the y-axis. So when the observation point is present on the y-axis, theta will be equal to 90 degree. So this P point will be present on the y-axis. So theta in that case will be 90 degree, and the position vector r vector, the position vector of the observation point will be a j cap, because now the observation point is present on the y-axis at a distance of a from the charge. So what will be the electric field? And in this case the electric field will be represented by E perpendicular. So the charge is moving along the x-axis and we are finding electric field on the y-axis. Therefore, to differentiate, we have written it as E perpendicular. So E perpendicular will be nothing but, so in this expression we are going to put theta is equal to 90 degree and r vector will be put equal to a j cap. So E perpendicular will be equal to q times 1 minus beta square, and instead of r vector we will substitute a j cap, divide by 4 pi epsilon naught, and r cube is nothing but a cube in this case, and 1 minus beta square sine square 90 degree will be there in this case. So 1 minus beta square sine square 90, that is nothing but equal to 1 over 3 by 2 as it is. So when you will solve this, when you will simplify it, you will have q times, so this 1 minus beta square will cancel with 1 minus beta square in the denominator, and this a will cancel with a in the denominator. So you will just have q j cap in the numerator, divide by 4 pi epsilon naught, and this a will cancel with a in the denominator, so you will have a square, and this 1 minus beta square will cancel with 1 minus beta square in the denominator, so you will be just left with 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2 in the denominator. So this is the electric field on the y-axis, and this is the electric field on the x-axis at a point A. So now we are going to find what is the ratio of E parallel and E perpendicular. So you can clearly see that E parallel is not equal to E perpendicular. The electric field at a distance A on the x-axis is not the same as the electric field at the same distance A on the y-axis. So these two magnitudes of the electric field, they differ from each other. And now we are going to find the ratio of E parallel and E perpendicular. So the magnitude of E parallel vector will be just q times 1 minus beta square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square. And magnitude of E perpendicular vector is nothing but q by 4 pi epsilon naught a square divided by 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2. So that will be q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square into 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2. And now we are going to find out the ratio of E parallel and E perpendicular. So when you will solve it, you will get it to be equal to 1 minus beta square power 3 by 2. So you have to solve this step by yourself. So when you will take the ratio of E parallel and E perpendicular, that will come out to be equal to 1 minus beta square power 3 by 2. And what is 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2? That we have already seen that gamma is nothing but equal to 1 divided by under root of 1 minus beta square. So beta is V by C. And what will be 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2 from this? That will be just equal to 1 by gamma. So 1 minus beta square power 1 by 2 will be equal to 1 by gamma. And over here we have 1 minus beta square power 3 by 2. So that will be equal to 1 by gamma cube. And we already know that this gamma is always greater than 1. Gamma is always greater than 1. So E parallel by E perpendicular has come out to be equal to 1 by gamma cube. So gamma is always greater than 1, means E parallel will be less than E perpendicular. Gamma is greater than 1, therefore E parallel will be less than E perpendicular. And hence from this expression we can say that electric field is not spherically symmetric for a moving charge. So for a moving charge, the electric field is not spherically symmetric. The electric field component in the direction of motion of the charge means E parallel. This is less than E perpendicular. So in the case of a charge at rest, so when the charge is at rest, so the electric field lines look something like this. So this is a positive charge and the electric field lines, they are spherically symmetric. So this is just the xy plane that we draw. So the electric field lines, they are spherically symmetric, means at all the points which are at the same distance from the charge, the electric field's magnitude will be the same. But when we have a moving charge, when the charge is moving, in that case electric field in the direction of the motion of the charge will be less than the electric field perpendicular to the motion of the charge, and the electric field lines are drawn in this manner. So in this case you can see that along the motion of the charge, so the charge is moving in this direction, so along the motion of the charge the density of the electric field lines is less, means the strength of the electric field is less. So density of the electric field lines represent the strength of electric field. So along the direction of the charge we can see that less number of electric field lines are drawn, means electric field's magnitude will be less in this direction as compared to the perpendicular direction. In the perpendicular direction you can see that the electric field lines are more dense. So as you are moving from this point to this point, you can see the density of the electric field lines are increasing, and this comes from this factor. So from here we can see that E parallel is less than E perpendicular. So gamma is greater than 1. So from here you can write E perpendicular as gamma cube times E parallel. So if gamma is greater than 1, E perpendicular will be greater than E parallel. So here also in this diagram we can see that strength of the electric field is more in the perpendicular direction as compared to the parallel direction, the direction in which the charge is moving. So this is the electric field. These are the electric field lines for the case of a moving charge. So for the case of moving charge, electric field lines are denser in the perpendicular direction. The electric field lines are denser in the perpendicular direction. Or you can say strength of electric field is more in the perpendicular direction. Whereas when the charge is at rest, the electric field lines are spherically symmetric. So at all the points which are at the same distance from the charge, the electric field is the same. The density of the electric field lines is the same at all these points. Whereas if you draw a circle in this case, so you can see that in the perpendicular direction, the density of electric field lines is more as compared to the parallel direction. So this is the difference between a charge at rest and a charge which is in motion.